Fight Talk. I am Jackson Vanderbosch. It's been about 9 months since we've last posted a video, but I decided to come out of retirement to give you my predictions for 2026. UFC's been heading in a great direction since last time I was on the channel, and I thought I'd get back into it. I'm very intrigued by the champions that we've gotten in 2025, and I think in 2026 I'm gonna start giving you some more videos. Fight Talk 2.0 is my vision. So we're kind of ditching the podcast 40-minute long things and going more towards 10 to 15-minute YouTube videos, things like this. Just a quick little fun thing to talk about. So in this video, we've got the champions that I'm predicting by the end of 2026. So let's go. Let's start with the Flyweight division. Current champion is obviously Joshua Van after that kind of that fluke win he just had against Pantoja. Obviously Pantoja snapped his arm, and so we've got Joshua Van as the youngest champion in Flyweight history. So 2026, who do I think is going to be champion by the end of 2026? This might be a hot take, but I've got Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira, obviously a young guy as well, but the way I see this playing out, I don't think Pantoja is going to fight in 2026. So I think that leaves us. I think we've got Manel Kape. I think Manel Kape and Joshua Van are going to fight Q1 or Q2 of the year. I think Manel Kape wins that, actually. So then I think Manel Kape will fight Tatsuro Taira and lose by smudge grappling decision. And I think that leaves us with Tatsuro Taira as the champion. Maybe we get Tatsuro Taira versus Pantoja in 2027, but that's my prediction. Let's move on to Bantamweight. Obviously, at the moment, we got Peter Yan coming off that masterclass of Merab. I mean, crazy performance. Probably the best performance I've ever seen. Super happy he's champion. I was watching that in a hotel room by myself and just watching him style on him, and couldn't be more happy to see Peter Yan as a champ. So obviously we got O'Malley and Song Yadong coming up. I think O'Malley wins that. We've got Umar and Figueiredo coming up as well. I think Umar wins that. And then obviously you got Merab, who probably deserves a rematch. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go with this. I think they run back Merab and Yan at the start of the year at some point. And I think Merab wins that. And then I think, obviously at that point, if O'Malley wins, you're not going to run back O'Malley and Merab 3 times. So I think they do Peter Yan and Umar Nurmagomedov, and I think Umar wins that. So Umar, unfortunately, is going to be my champion for the end of 2026. Yeah. Featherweight, we've got Bloody Volk as the champion. Couldn't be more happy about that, but man, they disrespected him with that matchup. Diego Lopez 2. Gosh, I mean, that's just brutal from the company to give him that as maybe potentially his last fight. Unfortunately, I see that going a way that we don't want to see. I mean, obviously, Diego Lopez, amazing champion. Love watching him fight. And I think he beats Volkanovski. Crazy to say. I think Volk retires, unfortunately, on the spot. And then obviously, yeah, I mean, at that point you gotta give the next shot to Lerone Murphy or Movsar Evelev. And I think Diego Lopez beats both of those guys. I think he's in the prime of his career at the moment, and that's why I have Diego Lopez as my champion of the featherweight division at the end of 2026. I think that win off of Silva, I thought that was probably in my opinion, fight of the year. In terms of, a viewership perspective, that's a different video. I'll come at you guys with that video later on as well. I'm thinking of bringing a guest on for that, maybe, but I'll let you know. But yeah, the award show coming soon. But I think this guy had one of the best fights of the year, Diego Lopez. Great win against Silva. Unfortunate that Volk has to fight him again, but I don't think that ended well for Volk, and I think he knocks him out or takes him to a decision and wins. Featherweight division or lightweight division, Ilia Aptoro is the champion. Obviously, great champion on a best 3-fight winning streak we've ever seen. But obviously he's got those problems going on with the divorce and everything. So it sounds like he's taking time away from the sport. So obviously we've got Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje in January. That'll be a great fight. I think Paddy Pimblett actually wins that. So yeah, you got Paddy Pimblett as your interim champion at that point. Kind of hard to say with this division. Kind of hard to predict. But I think, one of two things happen here. Ilya's back, fights Paddy. I think Ilya knocks him out so fast in that one. You got so many matchups in the lightweight division right now. You got Dan Hooker and Benoit Saint Denis. Obviously, you've got Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, and then Oliveira and Holloway. They're all matched up, and that leaves one guy out of the mix at the moment, and that's Arman Tsarukyan. And I think by the way this shapes out, this is probably my hottest take of the video. I think we end with Arman Tsarukyan as our 2026 lightweight champion. And it's weird to say because he's probably not going to fight for a long time, but he's going to have to because Dana obviously hates him. So he's got to get a fight in there somewhere if he's going to get a title. But I think Ilya knocks out Paddy if he comes back in time, and then goes up and chases Islam at 170. That leaves you with Arman and maybe Max Holloway or something like that. That'd be a good fight. Or you've got, if Ilya is going to be stripped of the belt, then you probably got maybe Arman versus Paddy or something like that. And I think Arman wins that. So Arman Tsarukyan is your 2026 lightweight champion. Welterweight. Obviously right now we've got Islam Makhachev beating Jaidiem. Man, that fight annoyed me. That was one of the lowlights of this year for sure. Was Islam smudging JDM the whole fight, but he's your champ and he's looking pretty unbeatable. But you got so many contenders at this weight class. You got Morales, Ian Gary, Carlos Prates. All those guys probably deserve title shots. Even Shavkat, maybe you could say he maybe deserves it, even though he hasn't fought in like a year. But I think these are all good matchups for Islam. I think a lot of people out there are saying he's not going to lose to anyone at 170. Maybe at some point this next year he fights Top Toro. You never know. But I think the way this shapes out is going to be interesting. I honestly couldn't predict who's going to get the next title shot in this division. But I would guess it's. They're talking about Usman at the White House. That'd be a shame if they did Usman versus Islam. He's on a 1-3 fight, 1-3 in his last 4 fights. You can't do that. So I hope they give it to Morales or Ian Gary. And I think both of those guys are very capable of beating Islam, which might be a hot take. And I think the way this shapes up. Obviously Ian Gary coming off that Bilal win, he looks great. Looks like he can beat about anybody by decision at this point, but not by anything else. So I think by the end of the year, we're going to have Ian Gary as our champion, which is pretty absurd to say. But I think he beats Islam. I don't know who they match up. Maybe they go Morales and Islam first, and Islam wins that. But, there's a lot of guys you think are invincible that aren't. And I think a lot of people think Islam Makhachev is invincible. I would say he's probably top 3 of all time MMA fighters. But I think at some point he's going to be matched against a rangy striker like Gary, who has pretty solid takedown defense. And I think he loses. So hottest take of the video is this division and probably lightweight, Ian Gary and Arman Sarukian. So let's go to middleweight. We got Khamzat Chimaev coming off that win against Dricus du Plessis. Not the most entertaining, but still gets it done so decisively. And I mean, he's a scary man. There's not a lot of contenders at this division that I think beat Khamzat Chimaev. I don't think anyone really beats Khamzat Chimaev at this division if Khamzat's locked in. I think he fights. He probably keeps his belt for a long time, in my opinion, simply because he doesn't fight very much. I think he's going to fight one time in 2026, and I don't know who that's against. I would assume Imavov at some point. I think he smokes Imavov. I think he finishes him. So we're going to have Khamzat Chimaev as your champion by the end of 2026. Let's go to light heavyweight. We've got Alex Pereira as your champion. Scary man just beat Ankalaev, his nightmare matchup. Knocked him out in one round. Great performance, probably behind Peter Yan, the performance of the year in my opinion. What happens in this division is also kind of hard to say because you obviously have the eye poke with Aspinall. You don't know what's going to happen in the heavyweight division, but Pereira's talked about moving up to heavyweight quite a lot, and he really doesn't have much to prove left at light heavyweight. So I think he either defends against Olberg at some point, or if Tom Aspinall isn't gonna fight, I think they could do Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane for the interim heavyweight championship, which would obviously take him out of light heavyweight. Either way, I think at some point in 2026, Alex Pereira will move up to heavyweight. So that leaves us with probably Ankalaev, Yuri Prohaska, Carlos Olberg as maybe Khalil Roundtree, if you want to put him in that category as well, as some guys that could win the next championship. Obviously, the front runner is going to be Magomed Ankalaev. He beat Alex Pereira. It's been kind of on a tear up until that knockout. But I'm going to go a different way with this one. I'm going to go with Yuri Prohaska. Wins a lot of fights in the weirdest ways possible. I think maybe they do Olberg versus Yuri if Alex Pereira moves up. But I think at some point, Yuri Prohaska will fight for a title in 2026. And I think he wins. I don't know if you want to make some odds on that, but I assume that those odds would be pretty high that Yuri will win. But I'm going to come out here and make a bold decision that Yuri Prohaska wins the belt. Let's round it off with heavyweight. What would it take? We got Tom Aspinall as your champion after he got double eye poked, knuckle deep. Crazy. This guy has gotten absolutely screwed in the last year or so. Obviously had to sit out to fight John Jones. Didn't end up getting that fight. Fights Cyril Gane and gets eye poked and doesn't look great in that first round either. He was probably losing that. So a lot of people are kind of turning away from Tom Aspinall at the moment, thinking, maybe he's not that good. And he didn't look good against Cyril Gane, and John Jones absolutely smoked him. Things like that is what I'm hearing. But I think they got to run back that Cyril Gane rematch. at some point. I hope it's early. I hope he gets the eye thing figured out. But I do think in the rematch he beats Cyril Gane. I think he surprised a lot of people. I mean, this guy still has the fastest fight time in the UFC. People forget, man. This guy's a marauder. So don't overlook Aspinall just because of that last performance and the layoff time. So I think he beats Gane. And yeah, I mean, after that, it's either Volkov or Pereira, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know what they would do, but I think he wins those two. So you got Tom Aspinall as your heavyweight champ at the end of 2026. So those are my predictions for the champions at the end of 2026. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I definitely enjoyed being back on here talking about some fighting with y'all. It's been a long time for me. Last time you probably heard of me was probably 10 months ago. And that, yeah, I mean, I hit the rage quit button because O'Malley lost. We had Bilal champion, Marab. The UFC was in a bad spot. But since then, since my little break, it's been trending up and up and up, and we've got some great champions. I hope some of these predictions are wrong, like Umar and Arman and guys like that. But I don't like them smudge guys. But I enjoyed coming back on, and expect more videos. I'm expecting to post one video a week, about 10 to 15, 20 minutes long. Just topics like this, simple topics like this. And we'll see where this goes. Fight Talk 2.0 is back, and if AO wants to hop back on here, I'm more than glad to talk about some things with him and just keep making these short vids. But enjoy seeing you guys again, and we'll catch you in the next one.